Hello and welcome back to Alice Talks Football and welcome back to another transfer news live stream update. Welcome back to another Manchester United live show. Lots to talk about in today's video. I wasn't live last night, so we'll be covering news that's come out in the last 24 to 48 hours covering Manchester United. We'll be talking about who's leaving, who's joining, some of the rumours, what do the rumours mean. We actually will address some of the other transfer news regarding other clubs and giving you my thoughts on it and what it could mean for Manchester United next season. And of course, answering your questions down below in the live chat. So any questions for me, do pop them down below in the live chat. I'm going to try and make this an interactive video, try and address as many live chats as possible. But what exactly will I be talking about? What's the topic of today's video? Saul Niguez to Manchester United. We're going to be talking about everything we know about Saul Niguez. Could this be Manchester United's next deal? It looks like we're going to sign another player before the transfer window closes. We know we need to sell to buy, depending on the player. But we know we're a big fan of Saul Niguez. We know from Fabrizio Romano there's been contact with Saul Niguez. And could Saul Niguez be the next done deal at Manchester United? We'll be talking about what's been said about Saul Niguez today, what's been said about Saul Niguez on the last week, what's the likeness of Saul to Manchester United, and more. We'll also be talking about Erling Haaland, Kane to City, Lukaku to Chelsea, MBAPPE to Real Madrid. Does this mean Man United are going to get Haaland next season? Does this confirm Haaland to Manchester United next season, maybe? Everyone else is looking elsewhere. Could we have an open race to Haaland? We'll be talking about Tuanzebe leaving, Teller staying, other ins and outs, Dalot going to AC Milan, and a lot of other stories. Could Matic be going? Donny's definitely staying. Martial's definitely staying. Pogba, very, very likely to stay. We'll be covering all of that in today's video. So do, guys, quickly make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe down below and share this video. And, of course, do nominate me down below for the Football Content Awards for Best New Content Creator, Best Young Content Creator, and Best Premier League Content Creator. Link in the description would mean a lot. Hit that like button. And, of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football. If you're new, we're 170 subscribers away from 16k. So on the road to 16k. So make sure you're subbed if you're not. But let me get into the news. Jack Jonas with the earlier comment saying if we don't get Saul, we will get CAMAVINGA. Well, Saul, CAMAVINGA, and Neves are our three main midfield targets because we're not going to get Declan Rice unless we sell Pogba. However, the situation is, do we have to sell to buy these players and all of that? Now, I think, we're in for Saul. Obviously, we know in for Saul. We'll talk about everything about Saul in a minute. We're obviously very, very interested in CAMAVINGA. He's our dream midfielder, and we are keeping an eye on Neves, but I don't think we're going to sign a midfielder till the end of August. It's a bit of a waiting game to see how much money we get in selling, see who leaves, and all of that. But keep an eye on those players. Alicia says, help get Alice to 100k fans by the start of the new season. Team Alice. That would be absolutely crazy. I don't think we're going to hit 100k in the next week. But maybe on TikTok. But yeah, do subscribe and all of that. Nick Morris says that Pogba has not rejected any contracts from United and will take his time over what he does next, which is true. Thank you there, Nick. Pogba's not rejecting contracts. A lot of players that want out are rejecting contracts. Pogba hasn't rejected the contract. He's just stalling it to actually think about it and all of that. Early comment in saying, again, we must lower the prices of all our weakest players by 50% to sell the Deadwood as fast as possible and raise cash to buy CAMAVINGA, Niguez, and Trippier by August 3rd. Would love it if we did that, but it's Manchester United. Remember, yes, we signed Sancho and Varane, but it is still Manchester United. It is still the Glazers. But that would be absolutely fucking fantastic, of course. And we are talking about sell to buy. The situation at Manchester United is very much sell to buy, and I do want to dive into that in just a second. He says that Manchester United have more money than our competitors, so it's okay to sell our debt with very cheap and discounted prices. Then our reward will be CAMAVINGA, Niguez, and Trippier. Look, Daniel James and Lingard. If you sell Daniel James and Lingard, you can get Saul Niguez for that. Romano says Saul Niguez could cost us 34 to 38 million pounds. Lingard's going to get us 25 million pounds. Daniel James is going to get you 15 million pounds. Bada bing, bada boom. Sell Lingard, sell Daniel James, get Saul Niguez. It's not rocket science, is it? Obviously, he does want Barcelona. There's that whole situation, but it's not rocket science. And I think use the money you get for Dalot for Trippier. So yeah, it's not rocket science. We just need to sell our players, and we can 100% buy and all of that. And that doesn't even require selling Paul Pogba. We could get Saul Niguez without selling Paul Pogba. We could get CAMAVINGA without selling Paul Pogba. Matic, Pereira, Jones, one of the centre backs. Lingard, Daniel James, all going to bring you in money. And all players that aren't really going to get many first team minutes. Anyway, has Varane arrived? Fabrizio Romano did say that Varane is in Manchester, but we're not seeing any pictures of Rafael Varane in Manchester, basically because, he's in quarantine. He's not going to be leaving the house. But Fabrizio Romano did actually confirm that Varane is in Manchester. Let me pull up all of that. But he is quarantining. Sancho just returned to training on Friday as well, by the way, guys. Aston Villa also did buy Danny Ings, bit out of the blue, and obviously Jack Grealish is going. We'll discuss that, give my thoughts on that towards the end of the video as well. But Chelsea are preparing a Romelu Lukaku bid, and we'll talk about, does that mean Haaland to Manchester United? Is this Kane to City, Lukaku to Chelsea, confirming Haaland to Manchester United, and all of that? We will have a few debates about that as well, but I do want to get straight into the SOLSKJAER news in a minute. Axman says, wish we were selling players quicker. We don't need to let young and new. We set young and new players in, and we need to sell Deadwood. If you want my honest opinion on the situation, sell Haaland. Well, Haaland, we're not going to sign Haaland this summer. Haaland next summer could be because MBAPPE to Real Madrid, Kane to City, Lukaku to Chelsea. I mean, does he want to go to the French league? No. Like, we could honestly get Haaland next transfer window. You know, is this, you know, it's the theory. We'll talk about that. So sad Grealish signed for City. You know what? I'd rather City got Grealish than Kane. Or I'd rather City get Grealish than Kane, because if they get Kane, it's over. If they get Grealish, he just rotates with Sterling and then Phil Foden. Hi Alice, we'll sign Haaland next summer transfer window. There's a high chance we could sign Haaland next summer transfer window if Chelsea get Lukaku or Man City get Kane. 100%. It's like, the theory is Man City getting Kane, Chelsea getting Lukaku, and Real Madrid getting MBAPPE, confirming that Haaland's got Man United when his £60 million release clause comes into play. Because do you want to go to Syria? No. Do you want to go to Liga? Not really. It's Premier La Liga, surely, for Haaland. Varane has arrived in Manchester. Lukaku has told Inter to accept Chelsea offices, Daniel Mans. And with Grealish to City and potentially Kane, what are the odds of anybody else winning the Premier League? Very, very good comment here. But I saw somewhere on Twitter, someone tweeted that when Man United won the league, we got Varane and Van Nistelrooy the year after, and then we came third. So, you know, you can win the league and buy 2 top players and not win the league the following year as well. And you've got to remember, other teams are strengthening. But I think if Man City get Kane, they've won the league 100% and all of that and all of this. We need a CDM to challenge for the title, says Dwight BJ Joseph, and I 100% agree. Deadline day, Trippier. You know what? I think we'll sign Trippier on deadline day, and I think Lingard will go on deadline day. I honestly, I'm calling it now. We sign Trippier on deadline day, and we sell Lingard on deadline day. If SOLSKJAER chooses Ole over Klopp, then there's something wrong with him. We're more likely to win silverware than Manchester United. You can think like that for sure, but Varane chose to play for Ole. Sancho chose to play for Ole. Klopp is a better coach than Ole. You know, it goes without saying, but you've got to think about this Manchester United team. It's very, very young. You know, the Liverpool team is aging. You know, Man United did finish above Liverpool last year. Man United can offer more wages, but that's not the reason we want players to come. You know, it's understandable for a player to choose Man United over Liverpool. Last season, I think it was understandable for anyone to choose Liverpool over Man United because you'd won the league and you'd won the Champions League. And I think there's more chance to celebrate at Liverpool. But if you go off last season, it's understandable for players to choose to come to United. We look like we're going in the right direction. Finish third, finish second. We're in the best league in the world. We're strengthening. We've got some great young players. So, yeah, could you please regard updates regarding Varane landing at Parenton? Well, Varane arrived in Manchester yesterday. Apparently, there's no visa issues, but he has to quarantine, hence why there's been no pictures of Rafael Varane. No, Dan James will improve this season playing on the left. Unpopular opinion there in the chat, I'm not going to lie. And United need to get more than one signing because the season is long. You know what? We need to get a midfielder in, 100%. Donny van der Beek is staying, and Paul Pogba looks likely to stay as well, which is obviously the big news coming in. But I do want to talk a little bit about some things that Fabrizio Romano's had to say regarding SOLSKJAER, regarding Paul Pogba. I do actually want to dive into some transfer news and all of that. But Manchester United are not willing to sell Pogba for any less than €75 million. That is sort of the news coming in and all of that, which will be really, really interesting. And Fabrizio Romano said next summer, many clubs, including Manchester United, will be in the race for Erling Haaland. Keep an eye on United due to the strong relationship with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Man City, Chelsea, and Spanish clubs, it will be an open situation next summer. So what Fabrizio Romano said regarding Erling Haaland to Manchester United is Man United will be in the race for Haaland next season. So will Chelsea and City. But if City get Kane and Chelsea get Lukaku, they're out of the race, meaning it'll be Man United and the Spanish clubs, and MBAPPE is going to one of the Spanish clubs. Barcelona's finances are in the mud, so it could be an open race almost for Manchester United to get Erling Haaland next summer. And if Chelsea do get Lukaku, we'll probably get £5-10 million of the fee, so maybe that can go towards a little SOLSKJAER move, possibly. Trippier has made it clear to Atletico Madrid that he wants to join Manchester United, but Atletico Madrid are trying to hold on to £40 million for Kieran Trippier, which they won't get, so I think they're going to wait till deadline day Tuanzebe is due to sign a new contract at Manchester United. Then he will complete his loan to Aston Villa, apparently. Tuanzebe looks like he's going to Aston Villa on loan. He will go to one of Aston Villa or Newcastle. Talking about a little bit of news. And Inter Milan still owe Man United 55 million for the Lukaku transfer as well. So more money coming in. But Mike McGrath said Paul Pogba is set to start the season in the Manchester United squad before making his decision on the future. He has never formally rejected United's contract offer for him to stay. The club is ready to take time over his next move. I think Paul Pogba is stalling. I think if we have a bad season, he will leave. If we have a good season, he will sign a new deal and stay. I think that's the latest on Paul Pogba. And the question is, does Paul Pogba coming to Manchester United, does Paul Pogba looking more and more likely to stay at Manchester United as the transfer window go on, mean that we won't get Saul Niguez, mean that we won't get CAMAVINGA? And we know from Fabrizio Romano that, you know, Paul Pogba staying has nothing to do with CAMAVINGA. Paul Pogba staying, you know, we'll go for CAMAVINGA anyway. But also Saul Niguez, you know, we know from Romano that Man United want a midfielder, but they're going to have to sell to buy. You know, we don't have to sell Paul Pogba to buy Saul Niguez. Daniel James and Jesse Lingard could get us Saul Niguez. So even if Paul Pogba stays, if we sell Dan James, if we sell Jesse Lingard, if we sell Pereira, we get maybe rid of Matic and some of the Deadwood, we can easily raise 40 to 60, 70 million pounds from selling Deadwood and keeping Pogba. So I think we can easily get a midfielder. But the situation with midfielders and all of that is we know from Fabrizio Romano that Manchester United have got their eye on Saul Niguez. We know from Fabrizio Romano that Manchester United are watching the Barcelona swap deal. If it falls through, United will go for Saul Niguez. We know from Fabrizio Romano there's been contact between Saul Niguez's agents and Manchester United. You know, we've got a good relationship with them. We know that Saul Niguez will leave Atletico Madrid, and anything under £40 million could probably get the deal done as well. And we know from reliable sources and multiple sources that we are in pole position to sign Saul Niguez due to our transfer fee. But the situation, I think, with Saul Niguez to Manchester United is it could definitely possibly be our next done deal. You know, Saul Niguez could definitely be the next player to join Manchester United, but we won't sell Saul Niguez until we sell some players. But we can easily sell players to afford Saul Niguez. But we're definitely keeping an eye on it. And if he doesn't go to Barcelona, I do think there's a strong chance that Man United could go for Saul Niguez. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see how, you know, the story updates itself and all of that. Any questions for me, please do get them down below in the live chat. Can not Saul play more positions other than centre mid? Sal's very versatile. He can play all along the park. He's not exactly a CDM that can hold in his own in a 4-3-3, but he can easily play in the pivot with Paul Pogba and do a better job than Fred and McTominay. You know, Saul Niguez is a very, very solid defensive signing. Villa are doing great signings, rate Villa this season. You know, they've got Bay by Leon Bailey, they've got Emi Buendia, they've got Danny Ings, and they're going to get Tuanzebe on loan. Watch out for Villa next season. They're not just spending money on crap like they did 2 seasons ago when they tried to step in the Premier League. They're spending money on good players. Like, they are spending money on good signings. And I think Buendia and Leon Bailey are great signings. So I know they're losing Grealish, and it's going to be hard to replace Grealish. But you know what? I think Villa are having an absolute mad transfer window. Not long till the season starts. Been boring with off. I agree with you there, Steve. I can't wait for the season to start. 10 days to our first game of the season versus Leeds. Absolutely buzzing for it. Man City signing Grealish for £100 million is real. It's true. Man City are going to most likely sign Grealish for £100 million. That is the situation and all of that. But I just want to read out some quotes I put on my phone. So Sky Sports News says that Manchester United are close to agreeing an extension with Axel Tuanzebe, as I said. There's news from Fabrizio Romano about Diego Dalot going on loan to AC Milan with a £4 to £5 million loan fee. But the big news from Fabrizio Romano that came in today, well, actually last night, if I was being really specific, said that there's a really big chance that Paul Pogba stays at Manchester United. That's what Fabrizio Romano came out and said, which I think is very, very interesting and good news. And all of that. And I think that is what, you know, we want to see in all of that. And Varane is in Manchester. He is just quarantining and all of that. But we do want to talk about Saul Niguez. We do want to talk about CAMAVINGA and a lot of other players in this video. Please do hit that like button if you have not already. Hit that like button. And, of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football. Come on, let's see if we can hit 100 likes by the end of the video. So make sure you hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football. What happens with Martial? There's rumours about Martial leaving, but it's bullshit. Like, don't even waste your time on it. Martial is staying. I tell you this now. I mean, I could be wrong, but Martial is staying. But a player that might not be staying, and you guys will be relieved to hear this, is Phil Jones. We might finally be able to get rid of Phil Jones. And Newcastle are interested. And Newcastle have actually had this weird interest in Phil Jones for a while, and I really don't know why you have this interest in Phil Jones, Newcastle. But you know what? In case anyone from Newcastle's watching this video, buy Phil Jones, amazing player, buy him, absolute bargain. Take Phil Jones off us. Take Phil Jones off us. That's what I think. So yeah, Phil Jones couldn't be going to Newcastle. I think our situation with Phil Jones is, whatever happens, we're just going to get rid of Phil Jones. Like, at the end of the day, I think United would generally, you know what we did with Sanchez? I think we're more than happy to just get rid of Phil Jones on a free. I mean, I'm more than happy to pay £10 million to get rid of Phil Jones. As stupid as that sounds, but he has been linked to moves. I don't even know if he can start for a Premier League club anymore. But Phil Jones is out. Pereira's likely to go. Deleu's likely to go. Davies close to a loan move exit, really, really close, and we're likely to see what's happening with Lingard. Now, the Manchester Evening News and Liam Wood talked about a £50 million gamble that Manchester United must take, which is the Paul Pogba situation. Romano said it's looking more and more likely that Paul Pogba stays at Manchester United. And, you know, should Manchester United take this Paul Pogba gamble, guys? What are your thoughts on the situation? Should we take a gamble on Paul Pogba? Is it, you know, we could get probably £50 million from him from PSG now, but do we want to send £50 million, or do we want to risk maybe him signing a new contract at Manchester United and staying for some more years to come? What are your feelings on that? I want you guys to let me know in the live chat. Would you sell Paul Pogba for £50 million, or would you take a gamble in the hope that he stays? Now, if you want my honest opinion, I think if we were going to sell Paul Pogba and I knew the money we got for Paul Pogba would be invested in an Ndidi or a Declan Rice or an out-and-out CDM or a good replacement, I'd be more than happy to sell Paul Pogba, because I love Paul Pogba, but if he wants to go, sell him. But the only reason I'm more than willing to risk losing Paul Pogba on a free is because I know the funds we get for Paul Pogba, they're not going to go to I don't think they're going to be invested properly. I can't trust the board to invest them properly. You know, I think that's my situation. You know, there's a lot of good Paul Pogba replacements out there, but I think we need Paul Pogba next season. And I think he's likely to sign a new deal. I think with Varane coming in, with Pogba encouraging Varane coming in, he obviously likes Manchester United. He's not rejected any contracts at Manchester United. He's not done a Harry Kane and not turned up to training. Paul Pogba wants what's best for his career. And when we lost the Europa League final, we'd all be sitting there like, don't blame Paul Pogba for wanting to leave. Paul Pogba, you know, probably wants to actually maybe start the season with Manchester United. And if we're looking good at Christmas time, if we look well like we're going to win trophies, if we look like a team that's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer looks like a manager that's going to win us trophies, I think Paul Pogba will stay. But I think if we don't look like we're going anywhere, Paul Pogba will leave on a free. But I'm willing to take the 50 million gamble on Paul Pogba because I just think he's a quality player. But I completely understand people not wanting to take that gamble. But I want to see your thoughts on that situation down below in the comment section down below. But I think Paul Pogba has been a lot more professional than people give him credit for as well regarding that situation. We are not selling Daniel James. Well, there was rumours of Daniel James to Brighton, Daniel James to Leeds. And I think for Daniel James's career, if he wants to be a Premier League regular, then he definitely needs to be sold. But I think the situation with Dan James is because of the injury to Marcus Rashford, that Dan James might be forced to stay. Because I think if it wasn't for Marcus Rashford, I think Dan James would have left. I think the whole situation with Sancho coming kind of confirmed that Dan James would probably be leaving and all of that. But that's what the situation is. I think there's a chance Dan James goes toward the end of the transfer window, but they do love Daniel James. I thought, I like Daniel James, but I just don't think he's Manchester United quality. But a player that might be going is Jesse Lingard, a player that I believe will go probably on deadline day. Probably be our Chris Smalling, when we thought we were going to keep Chris Smalling, but we didn't. But the Manchester Evening News say that Lingard apparently wants to fight for his place. And if I was Jesse Lingard, I'd go, I'm more than happy for you to fight for your place, but I want 20 million for Jesse Lingard. And, I think it's best for Jesse Lingard's career to leave Manchester United. Now, Fabrizio Romano went onto the United stand and he said that Manchester United are among clubs interested in Saul Niguez, and we have been in contact with Saul Niguez's agents. They have an interest in the player and are considering one of the biggest opportunities on the market. He will be 34 to 38 million pounds to get a deal done, but no bid yet. Now, this is what I wanted to talk about in today's video. This was the main talking point in today's video. Romano says, if you bid 34 to 38 million pounds for Saul Niguez, you can get the deal done. Fabrizio Romano has basically confirmed 34 to 38 million pounds for Saul Niguez could get the deal done. And he said, because this is one of the bargains, because this is such a good deal, Manchester United are keeping an eye on it. He's confirmed that we've made contact with the agents. He's confirmed that obviously there's an interest in Saul Niguez, but I think that's massive from Fabrizio Romano. Could Saul Niguez be our next done deal? Because 34 to 38 million pounds and Saul Niguez is a done deal. Barcelona don't have that finances. Liverpool are a bit in the mud as well financially. Man United need to offer them 34 to 38 million pounds as a done deal. Could Saul Niguez be the next done deal at Manchester United, or do we need to sell some players first? I still think the situation is before we buy anyone, we're going to have to sell some players. We still have a lot of debt at the club. But I think, it's looking more and more likely. I was very, very skeptical about the Sanegas rumours. I was like, we're linked to him all the time. I'm just going to ignore this. We're always linked to Sanegas, bada bing, bada boom. But it is looking more and more likely that Manchester United do have a strong chance of signing Sanegas. I think it's actually becoming a bit of a possibility that we could get this Sanegas deal over the line. At 34 to 38 million pounds could make it a done deal. Any questions for me, please do pop them down below in the live chat. I'm going to read out a load of live chat questions down below, so please do pop any questions for me in the live chat. I'm just going to take a quick swig of water, but if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football as well. I just spilled my water on me, but we move. I'm trying to read out as many live chats as possible now. And all that. Let's see if we can get 100 likes by the end of the video. Joe says Sancho, Varane and Saul for 150 million is better than Kane and Grealish for 240 million. And I agree. This is a really, really good comment here from Joe, because I actually read the Grealish price in my talking points. Okay, Kane and Grealish are amazing signings for Manchester City. And Kane and Grealish are better than Sancho, Saul and Varane, for sure. But if, as you said, 150 million for these three players, or 240 million for Kane and Grealish, I think United have done the better business to some of than City. Yes, City might have signed two world-class players. I think we've done better business. And I think, Sancho, Varane and Saul for 150 million is an absolute bargain. Like, if we could pull that off, wow, because for me, that is a bargain. And we do know that the Manchester Evening News, I think it actually might have been The Athletic, it was a semi-reliable source, did say that we were willing to spend up to 150 million pounds in the transfer window, which I looked at and obviously I didn't believe, because it's Manchester United and there's multiple reasons why I wouldn't believe that. But like, the more and more I'm looking at it, I'm like, wait, actually, could Manchester United do something here in the transfer window? And Sanegas is a real possibility, and I do think it would be an absolute fucking bargain. But yeah, I do agree. I actually want to talk quickly while we're on this talking point. I do want to talk about Grealish and the Sancho situation. So Grealish for 100 million pounds or Sancho for 72 million pounds. A lot of people are saying that Grealish was a better signing and all of that. But if you want my honest opinion, for Manchester United, Sancho for 72 million pounds is a better signing for Grealish for 100 million pounds. If I sat here and you said, who would you rather Man United get, Grealish for 100 million or Sancho for 72 million pounds? I generally say Sancho for 72 million pounds. And this is why. Yes, I agree Grealish is a better player than Jadon Sancho. But what if Manchester United get Grealish? He's going to be competing on the left with Marcus Rashford, and he's going to be competing on the cam with Bruno, and he's not a guaranteed starting week in, week out player. Two, if we get Jack Grealish, he is 4 or 5 years older than Jadon Sancho and 25-30 million pounds more. I think in value for money, I think Jadon Sancho has potential to become a better player than Jack Grealish. Jadon Sancho's 21. He has potential to be world class. Jack Grealish is a top quality player, but Jadon Sancho has that world class potential as well. And I actually think that Sancho is a better signing than Grealish. You can argue it either way, but I think in value for money, for future, for the impact he'd have on Manchester United, I think that Jadon Sancho is actually a better signing than Jack Grealish. Alice, who would you prefer, Neves, Saul or Camavinga? I think, to be fair, Camavinga would be my first choice, but I think Saul would probably be have the best impact in terms of next season. I think Saul, Bruno and Pogba would be an absolutely fantastic midfield three. I mean, if you think about our squad for next season as well, we still don't have a CDM, and Sanegas isn't out on our CDM, but I still think Saul, Bruno, Pogba probably is the best three you can have. But I think in terms of long term, I definitely say Camavinga. I'm honestly not I don't rate Ruben Neves that much. A lot of you guys do, but I saw a lot of Wolves last season. I think he's a good player, but for me, there's still better efficiency than Ruben Neves. But I would take Ruben Neves over no centre mid whatsoever. And look, I do believe we will sign a centre mid this window. I think we will, or just a midfielder this window. I think we are waiting for outs on that. Midfielder could be Tellez, not Tellez. Why am I talking Tellez? That midfielder could be Sanegas. That midfielder could be Camavinga. Or for all we know, that midfielder could be Ruben Neves or a Declan Rice. But you just really have to wait and see where we go. But I'd probably have to say Sanegas. But that, keep putting your questions for me down below in the live chat and all of that. Thank you. Alice Jones needs to go. If Jones is a Man United player come September, I'm going to be fuming. Newcastle and West Ham only want Jones if United pay him off and he goes on a free. You know what? United should pay him off. And Mr. Pink Boots leaving. Very sad day. Such an amazing person for our medical crew. At least our medical crew had something to do all the time. And do you feel Man United ready for the start of the season? If you want my honest opinion, no. I don't think we're 100% ready for the start of the season, because we haven't had as many preseason games as a lot of the other teams. We haven't had the best preseason, but we're only going to have one preseason game, which is Everton, where all our team has actually got minutes in them. Bruno, Maguire, Shaw, Pogba, you know, Rashford, Cavani, Martial, none of them have pre-season minutes, and they're going to be so important for us next season. The only two players that get in our starting lineup come September that have pre-season minutes are Wan-Bissaka and Greenwood. So I am really worried about the start of the season because I don't think we've had the best preseason. I don't think we've played enough preseason games, and I don't think we're 100% ready. So I'm actually a little bit worried for Manchester United come the start of the season and all of that. Diego says take a gamble on Pogba. I think United should take a gamble on Pogba and all of that. Pogba leaving on a free would be hilarious. Sent him on a free, brought him back for 90 million for the Instagram Cup. I'm going to send him on a free again. Manchester United, ladies and gentlemen. It would be a bit humiliating, but I think I'm more than happy to take that risk for Paul Pogba because he's such a quality player. And Pogba stays with Varane present, concerned about the keeper situation. Who will be our number one? I'm not concerned about the keeper situation whatsoever because both our keepers are good number ones. My only concern with the keeper situation is both those keepers are good enough to be playing week in, week out in the Premier League. For me, I think De Gea is better, but for me, I'm really not bothered about who's number one next season. The only thing I'm concerned about is the CDM. I'm not concerned about Manchester United getting a striker. I'm not concerned about Manchester United signing a backup right back, although I do think we do need one, like we need a striker. I'm only concerned about Manchester United signing a CDM come the middle of the transfer window, if you want my honest opinion. And even if it's not a CDM, just a player that can play in the pivot and would be an improvement on the likes of Fred and McTominay, because I just think, you know what, Fred and McTominay, good squad players and all that, but they are the weak spot at Manchester United, and that's where we need to improve, you know, past Fred and McTominay, if you want my honest opinion on the situation and that. Please do hit that like button and, of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football. I've been asked for Erling Haaland update. Now, the situation is Erling Haaland like basically being confirmed to be Man United player next season? Because if you look at the situation with Erling Haaland, you've got to remember that Chelsea are now going for Lukaku. Chelsea look more and more likely to be signing Romelu Lukaku. Okay, Man City look more and more likely to be signing Harry Kane, and MBAPPE look more and more likely. Real Madrid look more and more likely to sign MBAPPE. Now we know from Fabrizio Romano that it's Man City, Chelsea, Man United, and the Spanish clubs in for Erling Haaland, and we're all gonna have to battle it out for a €60 million release clause. But if Madrid get MBAPPE, if Kane goes to City, and Chelsea get Lukaku, it's between Manchester United and Barcelona for Erling Haaland for £60 million. Barcelona's finances are in the mud. Barcelona look like they've got a worse future than Manchester United right now. And we know Erling Haaland has a great link-up and relationship with JADON Sancho. We know Erling Haaland's familiar with England. He's lived here. We know Erling Haaland has a good relationship with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I think if Man City get Kane and Chelsea get Lukaku, I think we will get Erling Haaland. And a month ago, I would have said there's no way we're getting Erling Haaland next season. He's going to go Chelsea, he's going to go City. But you know what? It's looking more and more likely that, you know, we could almost have Erling Haaland confirmed for next season if the transfer window kind of pans out like we want us to. You know, it's almost like, are they going to confirm Haaland to United next season, which I think would be absolutely insane. You know, I would absolutely love Erling Haaland at Manchester United, and I actually think there's a strong chance we can sign him next season. Ryan says we have to pick up the ball, playing game, managing CDM. Mason has looked razor sharp. Him and Jadon can explode this season. I agree. I think Mason looked really sharp in pre-season, even though he hasn't scored yet. He always looks like a different level when on the ball. I 100% agree with that. I think we do need a player that's going to come in at CDM and lift the squad and just change the way we play. I think with Varane coming in, we don't have to play him with Fred, so we can play some expansive football in the midfield. But I think we really want to play a CDM and a 4-3-3 to get the best football out of Manchester United and get Manchester United playing the best football possible. I do agree. And Sal Lingard probably going to get game time with Bruno playing Cam. 100% agree. That's why we need to sell Lingard. Sal got dispossessed 26 times last season, more than Fred, Pogba, and Matic combined. Banana skin if we don't get him. I am afraid. Do the 5. You got possessed 26 times the whole of last season. You know, Fred gets dispossessed 20 times a game. And all of that. How do I talk so quickly? I don't know. Just energy and all of that. And voted to the Football Content Awards. Yeah, please do vote for me at the Football Content Awards. Link below in the description. I think there's a link in the chat, pinned in the chat. So do click on the link in the chat and vote for me in the Football Content Awards. What is our budget this transfer window? Well, we signed our 2 main players. I think to sign off a third player, which could be Niguez, which could be CAMAVINGA, which could be TRIPPIER, we might have to sell. But I assume we have a budget of around £100 million net spend, maybe 150 million max, if you want my honest thing. All Jack Grealish has on Jadon is Premier League experience, says Ryan Watkins. And you know what? In a weird way, I'm going to agree with that. One second, I'm just going to take a quick sip of water. If Jadon Sancho was getting 17 goals and 17 assists in a Premier League season at age 20, we would be saying he was better than Jack Grealish, but he gets it in the Bundesliga. Okay, Jack Grealish is better than Jadon Sancho, okay? And I think he is Premier League proven, and he created the most chances in the Premier League per minute. He's a great chance creator. He's a great player. He wins a lot of fouls. He's a great dribbler. I think Jack Grealish is a better player than Jadon Sancho, but I do think what Jack Grealish and Jadon Sancho should really cost the same price when you think about it, because of Grealish's age and Sancho's potential. Now, I think what Grealish has that makes him so expensive, which makes him edge above Sancho, is he's Premier League proven, because I can sit for a fact and tell you that Jadon Sancho right now is a better player than Phil Foden, because if you look at what Jadon Sancho's done in the last 3 years, his numbers, all of that is much better than Phil Foden. If you've watched Jadon Sancho play the last few years, he's looked better than Phil Foden. But the reason Phil Foden gets so much hype, and the reason everyone thinks Phil Foden is better than Jadon Sancho, and Phil Foden was starting ahead of Jadon Sancho in the Euros, was because Phil Foden's English. He plays in the Premier League, and there's the stigma that you can't be the best to your Premier League proven, which always makes me laugh, because all these people will be like, Messi's the GOAT and all of that, but then they'll be like, yeah, they're not good because they're not Premier League proven. Like you're like completely not making your point make sense. And all of that. But I do think, players that play in the Premier League are more expensive, are more hyped. But I do think that Grealish is better than Jadon Sancho. But I think value for money, we got a better deal. I think, we need a right winger more. He's younger. I think Jadon Sancho will be a better player than Jack Grealish, a better winger come future. And I do think because Jadon Sancho isn't Premier League proven, he gets massively disrespected. Because for me, he's clear of Phil Foden. I don't think it's a debate, in my opinion. VK says Leon Goretzka would be the ideal CDM above all the centre-mids linked. So we're linked to 5 midfielders: Goretzka, Saul Niguez, Ruben Neves, Declan Rice, and Camavinga. But with Goretzka, he's kind of using us for a new high contract at Bayern Munich. Saul Niguez is very likely in the sense of if he doesn't go to Barcelona. Camavinga is obviously our dream signing, and Ruben Neves is one we're keeping an eye out, and then Declan Rice is if we can afford him. But I agree, I'd love Goretzka, but I don't think it's going to happen if you want my honest opinion. Grealish is not Champions League proven. You could say that. Sancho is Champions League proven. It's a solid point there. Leeds will do us in if we're not careful. I will be doing a match preview to Leeds next Thursday on the channel. Will be my Manchester United versus Leeds match preview. So make sure you subscribe for that, where I talk about what lineup I expect to see versus Leeds and more. Be interesting to see who plays in goal. Be interesting to see if Varane gets the feature versus Leeds. It'd be interesting to see if Sancho gets his debut versus Leeds. Now, Sancho returns to training on Friday, and I really hope he is involved in the pre-season friendly versus Everton on Saturday. But it wouldn't surprise me if Man United had a friendly behind closed doors before the Leeds game as well, because I do think we almost are in need of a friendly as well before the Leeds game. De Gea will be playing Saturday against Leeds as well, now confirmed as Hendo is out. I did think that Henderson was out, but I wasn't 100% sure because there was rumours that Henderson was going to be #1 and all of that. So are they going to pay Pogba 400k a week for Pogba to make him sign next season? I'm not 100% sure. I think Pogba's just going to sign a deal if he thinks Man United are going to do well or not. Ollie and coaching definitely see Trippier as a priority over midfielder, as it would allow us to play a CDM without double pivot to cover our fullbacks, says VK. And this guy says Henderson, Bissaka, Varane, Maguire, Shaw, Neves, Pogba, Fernandes, Sancho, Cavani, Rashford would be a very, very good squad next season and all of that. And Joe says he hates to say, but he wouldn't write off Liverpool in the Haaland chase. They need an out-and-out striker, and I do 100% agree with you. I think it could be. I think if the transfer window is going the way you think it could be a Man United, Liverpool, Barcelona race in the race for Haaland. But Man United do have the best finances out of all 3 clubs. I am just taking a quick swig of water, so please just hit that like button and subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football while I drink up some water. I'm very, very tired today. I won't lie to you guys. I'm living on about 2 hours sleep. So sorry if I seem half asleep in this live stream, but I am functioning on about 2 hours sleep. It is not good. Faisal says, Alice, I hear you say CDM is what we need, which I do agree, but then we need a top CDM that can alone shield the backline if Lindelof is in the side, as we don't need a CDM with Varane in the side. Now, I think we need a CDM whether we have Varane in the side or not, but I do think if Lindelof plays, you have to play the 4-2-3-1 or get a CDM that is going to do that job. And now look, Saul Niguez isn't a CDM, but I'm more than happy for us to sign Saul Niguez because he could play in the pivot with Pogba and be an improvement on Fred and McTominay in defensive sense. But you couldn't play Saul Niguez on his own and let Pogba and Bruno be 2As. And I think if you want to do that, then 100% we need an out-and-out CDM like Ndidi, like Declan Rice. I think, but there's a lot of good options out there for CDM, even if they're not so much out-and-out CDMs, if you want my honest opinion and all of that. And how is Phil Jones still at the club? I have no idea. How can Paul Pogba get a new contract with mega money when our other players have performed better? Anyone remember his Champions League pre-match announcement? I think, there's been problems with Paul Pogba, but I don't really want to dive too much into the Paul Pogba situation. at the moment. I just think it's more likely he stays. I'm more than happy for Paul Pogba to stay. But I do think, he has been disrespectful towards the club in the past, but he's not doing a Harry Kane and not going to training. He's not rejecting contracts. He's not forcing a move. So at the end of the day, you can't hate on Pogba too much. If Paul Pogba was doing what Harry Kane did, the amount of negativity towards him would be insane. Daniel Fleming says he loves the channel. Black Burner says Sal thumbs up. Sal thumbs up. Hopefully Sal will be the next done deal. And this guy says City don't even need Grealish if they're stocking so other chasing clubs couldn't get him and catch City. Possibly. Do Manchester City need Grealish? Because if you think about it, Grealish plays the same position that Phil Foden and Raheem Sterling play. Now, I know Phil Foden's played on the right a little bit more lately, but Phil Foden mostly played on the left for Manchester City last season. And I generally think, Phil Foden and Raheem Sterling play on the left. Grealish, Kevin De Bruyne plays as a cam. Grealish is going to be rotated at City. He's going to bench Sterling, he's going to bench Foden, he's going to bench De Bruyne, or he's not going to start. And I do think, I'm more than happy for Man City to spend 100 million on Grealish. But if Man City got Kane, I'd be like, the season's over. But I'm more than happy for them to go and get Grealish, because I don't think that Grealish is going to play week in, week out. And I don't know if I think Grealish will be a top signing for him. I think Grealish is a great player, but I think that Kane would have so much more impact than Grealish. Now, Phil Foden played 30 out of the last 50 games he's played on the left wing for Manchester City. So, he's going to affect Phil Foden. He's going to affect Sterling. If they try Jack Grealish off the right hand side, he's got Mahrez and Bernardo Silva as well to compete with. In the cam, he's got Foden, KDB, and Bernardo Silva. It's going to be hard for Jack Grealish to get game time. He's almost going to be a rotation player. But if that's what he wants, that's what he wants, and all of that. But it is an interesting signing. If you're new to the channel, do subscribe to Alice Talks Football. We're on the road to 16,000 subscribers, by the way, guys. I believe we are 160 subscribers away from 16k, so please do subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. To stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news and transfer news, please do make sure you are subscribed to Alice Talks Football down below. We're doing a watch along on Saturday. There's a live show tomorrow. There's lots come up on the channel. So any transfer news, I'm live. Any big transfer news, I'm live. Any relevant transfer news, I'm live. So make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with all the latest news. And any comments from me, pop them down below in the live chat. I am reading and replying to a lot of my comments in the live chat. So any questions about transfers, any questions to me in general, any theories, anything you want me to read out, pop it in the live chat. Oh, my mouth is so dry today. I'm not going to lie. I think Grealish is a mistake going to City. I'm not sure if it's a mistake for his career. It's a risk because he might not get game time. But I think if you're Jack Grealish and you go, I'm a good player, I know I'm Man City level. Like, Jack Grealish is Man City level, and you want to win trophies and you get more money. I don't think it's I think it is a risk, but I don't think it's a mistake. So that's the thing. I want to sell Lingard so bad because he's making 130k a week to do nothing, sitting on the bench 99% of the time. I want to sell Lingard for his own career because Lingard can have a good career, a good future in the Premier League, but he's going to be sat on the bench at Manchester United. City is building two sides. City just trying to buy everyone. They're trying to turn it into the Farmers League, as they do. And Lindelof is a liability. We should attempt something like Chelsea's Koundé Zuma swap to get a guy that's better than Lindelof. Do you know what? We could have used. I'm more than happy to sell Lindelof and bring in someone like Jules Koundé, to be fair, as well. And Travis says if we send a low out on loan, we can afford Trippier. So why do we need to sell by DM? We can afford Trippier with Delo, yes, to an extent, but I think we do need to sell to buy a midfielder. Now, Manchester United would like a midfielder. Fabrizio Romano has confirmed time and time again that Manchester United would like a midfielder and all of that. But us getting a midfielder depends on who we sell. We have to sell to buy next, and we want Saul Niguez. There's been contact with Saul Niguez. As Romano said, £38 million bid for Saul Niguez, and that's a done deal. They're happy to accept that. It's not going to plans of Barcelona. There's not many teams that can afford Saul Niguez. I do think, there's a chance we can get Saul Niguez. I think it's very, very likely to happen now. I mean, not very, very likely, but I'm more and more believing it's going to happen. But I think that we will have to sell to buy a player. Even someone like Saul Niguez, that'll be the bargain of the century. I think we are in a situation of sell to buy at the club at the moment. Alice says, what's our chance of winning the Premier League title this season, says Faisal. There's a chance of it, but I don't think we will. I think, we should. I'm confident we'll get top four, but I'm not confident we're going to win a title because Manchester City, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man United all want to win a title. It's not the Bundesliga where it's Bayern. It's not Ligue 1 where it's PSG. It's not La Liga where it's normally Real Madrid or Barcelona and occasionally Atletico. And it's not Serie A where it's mostly Juventus and occasionally another team. It's the Premier League. It's the most competitive league. It's the best league in the world. So honestly, there's a chance we win a title, but I would say Man City favourites to win a title for sure, especially now they've added Grealish to the squad and all of that. Alice, let me tell you now, we won't get any midfielders to offload Deadwood. Exactly what I was saying. You know, Sancho is likely to be the next done deal at Manchester United, but I don't think anything will happen until Manchester United do slowly and surely offload that Deadwood. Please do subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new to the channel and not already subscribed. And any questions to me, please do pop them down below in the live chat. I'm going to try and read out as many questions and live chats as possible. So please do pop them down below and all that. We're just talking about the latest Manchester United news. Pereira going, Phil Jones going, Lingard going. Who could be going next? That is the situation at Manchester United and all of that. Joe says, player quality is based on trophies now and not stone-cold stats. It's pretty sad. Yep, I agree with that. Pepper's getting close to Grealish for a reason. He doesn't rate Sterling, and Bernardo might be leaving as well. I think Sterling was poor for Man City, but he did look quite good in the Euros. And I think Bernardo Silva was worse than Bruno Fernandes in the Euros. He just didn't get talked about because, you know, he plays for Manchester City. I don't really rate Bernardo Silva that much. He had one good season, which I think was 18-19, and I don't really think he's done much for City since, if you want my honest opinion as well. And all of that. Let me know your thoughts on Bernardo Silva in the live chat, actually. And all that. Daniela says, Haaland's father played for Leeds, so if you know anything about English football, there's no way he's talking about Manchester United. But look, Sterling supports Man United, plays for Man City. When you come to a footballer, it's, you know, Grealish supports Man United. As much as people believe he supports Villa, Grealish supports Man United, he's going to City, you know. It really has nothing to do with who you support and who your dad supported, any of that. It's just you go to what you think is going to be the best move for you and what clubs are in for you. Alisson, new 6-year contract, and we are probably with Hendra and De Gea at first. Says Axman, you know what? Yeah, but I don't want to be giving out 6-year contracts to a goalkeeper, especially because Alisson had a bit of a flip-flop season. Would I take Calvin Phillips at Manchester United? I would take Calvin Phillips at Manchester United, but for me, again, there's better fish in the sea. He wouldn't be one of my first choices. And we will have an invincible season. Bet on Alice. All right, I put a fiver on. We'll have an invincible season. We'll probably blow that first game versus Leeds. You know what we're like. And I've just watched Ndidi making an amazing interception. Ndidi's a quality player. I would literally take Wilfred Ndidi at Manchester United in a heartbeat. And Noah says, hi Alice, what Man United should do is sell Lingard and Phil Jones and get 40 mil, which gets you Saul or CAMAVINGA, or do a swap deal with Trippier and Delo. I agree, but I think you would have to sell Pereira or Dan James top of Lingard and Phil Jones. I don't think both of them get you as much as 40 mil. Hello, Alice. What's the latest on Varane? Varane's arrived in Manchester. The deal's all done. He's just quarantining before he can go for his medical and join up on the squad. Nothing to worry about Varane. The deal is done. I don't know how I found this channel, but I'm glad I did. You should feature on Tuss. Oh, the United stand. Thank you very much for your comment. And we need Haaland, please, please. We won't get Haaland this summer. We've got KANE for another year. But Haaland next summer could be a possibility. And Dwight says, I don't like the Glazers, Alice, but they are working in this window because of the Super League. Possibly. I think one of the reasons we got Sancho and Varane, and we got Sancho and Varane so quickly, is because the Glazers wanted to find a way to apologise. You know, the fact that Joel Glazer's going on those fan forums, he knows he's upset the fans, and I do think the only reason we've had a good transfer window so far is to win the fans. It's not for the Glazers. It's not because the Glazers care. The Glazers only care about their pockets, and because they've lost the fans because of how they've acted, you know, their pockets have been hurt. And I think that's seriously the situation at Manchester United as well. I think one of the reasons for spending is because the Glazers' pockets have been hurt by the whole situation. And Dennis Sakara is available for 30 million euros. We should be on that fly to shit. I think 100% we should be on the Dennis Sakara for 30 million euros. I think it's an absolute bargain. I know he hasn't been as good since his injury, but he's a CDM. He's quick. He's versatile. He's flexible. He's exactly what we need. Any outgoings that is confirmed. Tuanzebe to Aston Villa is very, very close on loan, but it is not 100% confirmed. But I would say Tuanzebe will be the first player to leave, and I think Delo is likely to leave. I think Pereira is likely to leave. Jones is likely to leave. And then keep an eye on Lingard, keep an eye on Daniel James, because you can get £40 million for Lingard and Daniel James combined. So keep an eye on those two players. But they're the players we're looking to sell for actual money. They're the players we're hoping to cash in on. So definitely keep an eye on Daniel James. Definitely keep an eye and Jesse Lingard, but no super confirmed outing. Henderson or De Gea should be cashing on which one? I think you have to cash on Henderson. I don't think you can cash in on De Gea because of his wages and age. And Delo wants to be sold. Pereira wants to be sold, as well as Nevo wants to go on loan again. Exactly, very good point. But will Manchester United sell them? Are we going to hold on to them and hope we get more money, or are we going to sell them? Just a bit of banter, Alice. Personally, I think Haaland will end up in Spain. Definitely, there's always a chance he ends up in Spain. I just think if Man City get KANE and Chelsea get LUKAKU, there's a very, very strong chance that we win the race for Haaland, and we know he has a good relationship with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Noah has asked me for the latest on Haaland and Saul. Well, Fabrizio has confirmed Manchester United have been in contact with Saul Niguez. We're waiting to see what happens with Barcelona. We're keeping an eye on the deal. We do like the idea of the Saul Niguez deal. Fabrizio has confirmed that. Fabrizio said if Man United bid £38 million, it's a done deal. So £38 million for Saul, and it's a done deal. Fabrizio has confirmed that and all of that. He says that United are interested. We said we've held talks with his agents and all of that. I keep an eye on Saul to Manchester United, but I don't think we'll make an official move for him or official bid for Saul until we sell some players, if you want my honest thoughts. But I would definitely keep an eye on Saul Niguez to Manchester United as well. So I want you scores, and it's 1-0 Leicester. Who are Leicester playing at the moment? Actually, I'm wondering about that actually. And Alice, how much would you sell Fred for? 15. I think £20 million you could get for Fred. We should keep Delot. I'm more than happy with us keeping Delot, but I think we want Trippier, and I think we're going to let Delot out on loan. But again, I have no issue. If Man United wanted to keep Delot, I would absolutely have no issue with that whatsoever. Williams-led, Garner all out on loan. I agree, they all need to go out on loan. Highlights, I think this will be a breakthrough season for Phil Jones. Hopefully a breakthrough season where he breaks out the fucking club, honestly. I don't know why he's here. Are we offloading Matic? Well, there's rumours about Josie wanting Matic. There's rumours about Manchester United being prepared to sell Matic, but I think we only offload Matic if we bring in a midfielder. We're not going to offload Matic right now because we don't have a midfielder. I think we only offload Matic if we bring in a midfielder, and more importantly, a CDM is that midfielder. This guy says, Alice, I still think a lot about Charlie McNeil. He's a rising star. He scored over 600 goals in the Manchester City Academy. So maybe we'll be sitting with too many strikers in the future. There's always the possibility of that, but they're all young. You can never have too many strikers. But I'm a big fan of Charlie McNeil. But he's got Hugo. He's got a lot of players ahead of him. But I would like to see Charlie McNeil get some more game times for Manchester United. Maybe like even on pre-season, I just got a bit more minutes. He didn't get any minutes in pre-season, but I do rate Charlie McNeil very, very highly. Definitely one of our best youth players. Pereira, 20 million price tag. That's just a joke. Surely that's got to be a joke for Manchester United. If we get 20 million for Pereira, fair play to John Mayer. It's a fair fucking play. Someone's mentioned Villarreal. I don't like that. I don't that name. No, I don't like that name anymore. Don't like after the Europa League final. I don't like talking about Villarreal. What do you think Amad Diallo will do this season? It really depends on the game time he gets and if he gets a loan. But I think he's a quality player. I think he offers more than Dan James and Mata, and I'd like to see him play over those kind of players. And Joe says, I know we're linked to all of them, but I would take Idrissa Gueye from PSG. You know what? I would as well. I think he's a good player. He was Premier League proven at Everton. I think he's a solid player. Rebull said Fred Pereira, Martial, Lingard and Pogba together get you 120 million easy. Matic James makes that 150 million. One CDM, one striker easily for that money. Look, we could do that, but it is not FIFA. But I like your idea there. And all of that. And Leicester are playing Villarreal. Oh, yeah, because I asked you Leicester's playing. They are playing Villarreal. Go beat Villarreal, Leicester. We do not like Villarreal. Blech. Oh, I can't believe it. Like Villarreal and penalties. I can't believe they scored all 11 penalties. You know, with Man United, we're meant to be the scoring penalties team. And we lost on penalties. I was like, you're joking. You're joking. Please do subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new to the channel. If you want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news and transfer news, make sure you are subscribed down below to Alice Talks Football for daily Manchester United content, daily videos, and all of that. We are doing a live watch along come Saturday for Manchester United versus Everton, so make sure to subscribe for that. We're doing match previews and match reactions for Manchester United versus Leeds, a watch along for Manchester United versus Leeds, and I will be doing transfer news upstream videos throughout the transfer window. Obviously, we're stuck in the transfer window now, so I'm doing transfer news update videos to update you on all the latest Manchester United news and transfer news that's been flying around in these last couple of days. Do I watch cricket? Not really, I'm not going to lie. 50 million in Jesse for Rice, I would do that, but I don't think it's going to happen. I'll give £100 away to one of my subscribers if we sign Declan Rice and all of that. But yeah. I don't see the need for Sal. We have a lot of box-to-box already. I see Neves the perfect CDM. I think Sal is not the most needed player in the world, but I think for his price, it's a solid player. La Liga, 10% being sold for 2.2 million. All the clubs get a piece of the pile of the money now, says YouTube. Maybe. I haven't heard that, but it does sound like something that could be true. Camavinga in. Camavinga or I think Saul Niguez will be our next midfield signing. Camavinga, Saul Niguez or Trippier, I think will be the next signing to join Manchester United, but I'm not a psychic. There's obviously a chance that, you know, I'm wrong. Tottenham looking shit. We're clear of those files. Tottenham is shit. They're shit. They lose. Their best player doesn't want to play for them. They're shit. They got a manager that's a B-Tech Jose Mourinho. They're in the mud. They're shit, yeah. Alice, can we win the Premier? Are we genuine Premier League title contenders this season? I'm sure we're genuine Premier League title contenders this season. I just don't believe that Manchester United will win a title just because of how strong Manchester City and the other teams are. But I think we could be up in the title race. We could be title contenders, maybe for not the whole season, but maybe for a solid bit of the season. And I'd like us to be in a title race all the way and all of that, 100%. Is Cavani going to play in a friendly against Everton? He's so good against them. Hopefully, Cavani versus Everton. You know, he just likes to punish them, doesn't he? He absolutely does. I'm going to the Leeds match at Old Trafford. Lucky you. Honestly, that's such an exciting match. I can't wait for Man U Leeds to watch on fucking TV. I can't wait. We'll be doing a watch along to that as well. And also though, let's get the right player, and that is a CDM, not Salah. Yeah, Salah isn't out now CDM. I think there are better options out there, but I would take Salah against United in a heartbeat. I'm really, really thirsty today, hence why I can't really stop drinking my water. We need Pogba to stay at all costs, says Marta. And I wonder how much Real Madrid would take for Valverde. It'd be interesting to test water there. Actually, that's a solid point. You know, now we've got Varane for cheap. Will Real Madrid have to sell some of their staff for cheap? You know, is it worth testing the water and all that? Guys, if you are watching today's live stream and you have not already, please do hit that subscribe button down below to Alice Talks Football. We're 155 subscribers away from 16k. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel if you have not subscribed down below to Alice Talks Football and you want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news and transfer news. I'm doing a transfer news live stream tomorrow, updating all the latest transfer news. I'm doing watch alongs. I'm doing lots of stuff coming up on the channel. So do make sure you are subscribed down below to Alice Talks Football and all of that. There will be a Manchester United transfer update tomorrow night as well. So do subscribe if you want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news and transfer news. Keep getting your questions down below for me in the live chat. I'll try and read out and reply to as many questions as possible. So please do get them down below in the live chat. Alice, why is it so hard for us to offload players? Because we overpay them. Our problem is we overpay way too many players. You know, Phil Jones earns the same as Harry Kane. Phil bloody Jones earning the same as Harry Kane. For me, that is a laugh. For me, that is a joke. For me, that's not the kind of thing I want to see my club do. Phil Jones, Harry Kane, there's levels. There is levels. As sad as it sounds, there is absolute levels and all that. People have an opinion when Conte wins titles with our squad. Ollie won't. I think Conte I don't know if he wins titles, but I think Conte would have won of the Europa League with our squad. I think Conte would have won a trophy with our squad. I think that is the one thing about Ollie and Solskjaer is he can do all he wants, but until he wins a trophy, he's going to be criticised. He's going to be criticised. What are your thoughts on the Kane situation? Him not turning up to training? I think it's disrespectful and rude, and I think if it was Paul Pogba, the media would be so much more vexed. And Nick says Cavani is not back in England yet, and many may not be back for a few weeks. Really? The season starts next week. I brought most of the Copa America guys are back unless they have to quarantine, and hope the team gets a boost with more fans in the stadium coming back to the stadium. Exactly, and obviously Leeds first game of the season at home with fans. I think the fans will really be egging us on and pushing us in that game, hopefully. And with Varane and Maguire, why can't we use McTominay, Fred, Matic, etc. as a CDM? I don't want our board to spend. Are you on drugs? None of them can play CDM. Matic didn't want to play CDM, and his legs have absolutely gone. As when will Sancho be coming to training? One with Varane. Well, Sancho's coming to training Friday. Varane might have to wait a little bit longer because he hasn't had his medical because he has to quarantine. But Varane is in England. That is the story coming out. And you should drink plenty out of strength for your immune system. I'm a bit dead today. I'm on 2 hours sleep. I won't lie to you, and I had a few to drink last night, so I won't lie. I am a little bit dead right now, so you can probably tell because my face is probably a bit pale and all that. But please make sure you are subscribed down below to Alice Talks Football and all of that to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news and transfer news. What has sort of been said regarding Manchester United today? Looks like lots of players. Romano says it's looking more and more likely that Paul Pogba stays at Manchester United. Romano's confirmed that Paul Pogba is more and more likely to stay at Manchester United. Romano talked about obviously Grealish to City, so that could free up maybe Haaland for United as Chelsea go in for Lukaku. That's also been spoken about. We talk about a lot of other situations, a lot of other players, and more as well. But we know Alex Tellers is likely to stay. We know that Amad Diallo could be maybe staying. We know that Daniel Jones could be maybe staying with Rashford's injury. We know that Donny van de Beek is going to have a bigger part of Manchester United next season after he is bulked up and all that. And we know from Fabrizio Romano that Manchester United are keeping an eye on the Sound Guest situation. I think 34 to 38 million pounds is an absolute bargain. They can snap him up. We're keeping an eye on the situation, but we've got to hope it falls through between Barcelona and Atletico Madrid. Using Griezmann, they spent like over 100 million on Griezmann, and then now they're going to use him in a swap deal to buy a 40 million pound player. Barcelona make the Glazers look good, like the way they run. They're run by absolute shambles. I'm not going to lie. Sancho will be rapid for Manchester United. He will. He's a quick player. I think he'll be a sick player and all of that. I am not on drugs. I don't do drugs. I'm a student and I went out on the Tuesday night and I'm very, very drunk. I won't lie to you guys. I'm very, very not drunk now. Sorry, hungover. I went out last night. I had too many to drink, so I'm a little bit hungover and I am on 2 hours sleep. So I'm not the most focused I am. But you know what? It's a Tuesday night. I'm young, but I don't normally drink. I normally drink on weekends, but it was a one-off because it was meant to be a civilized picnic. We had a picnic with glasses of wine. It was meant to be really civilized. Picnic, glasses of wine on the green and by the river near where I live, and then it just turned into going to a bar, vodka, rum, tequila. Then the night kind of went. So I had a late night last night, which some of you might be able to tell. Please do vote for Alice Talks Football at the Content Awards. Please do nominate me for an FCA. I was nominated for an FCA last year, came second in Best New Content Creator. I could still qualify for Best New Content Creator, Best Young Content Creator, and Best Club Content Creator. So please do vote me for the 3 following awards. There is a pin. I've pinned it in the chat somewhere. I've pinned it in the live chat where you can vote for me for those awards. I think there's a link in the description, but if there's not, I will put a link in the description after the match for you guys not watching live. So yeah, please do that. I hope we get Neves since he wants to be here and he's a DM I take so bad. Look, I'm more than happy for us to get Neves, but I've said time and time again, I still think there's better options than Ruben Neves and all of that. And there's no way Pogba stays and we get Camavinga. I see him as an ideal replacement for Pogba if he leaves next season. Honestly, Camavinga is a very, very different player to Pogba. He's very more Pogba's, is there to curate and also do a good defensive job. Camavinga is solely more defensive. Could be a Kante like box-to-box player. Romano said that the Camavinga deal has nothing to do with the future of Paul Pogba. Fabrizio Romano said Man United want a midfielder, but it depends on Paul Pogba or Donny van de Beek's future. Now, we know that Donny van de Beek's staying. We know that Paul Pogba's like to stay, but we know that has nothing to do with the Camavinga situation because Camavinga is a dream signing. I think players like Camavinga and Saul Niguez, who are going to be £30 million for Camavinga, £40 million max for Saul Niguez, because they're such good players at such good prices that actually Manchester United are more than happy to go for these players because of the price of them. They're very well priced players, and I think that is the situation. If you want my honest opinion, I think to buy a midfielder we need to sell. We know from Fabrizio Romano that we need to sell our Deadwood. I think Jesse Lingard is going to be a big chunk of money, 25 million. I think Daniel James is 15 million. That's 40 million for Daniel James and Jesse Lingard. We might get money for Lukaku with Inter selling to Chelsea as well. You might get money for Delo, and you could just do Delo Trippier. But the situation is sell to buy. But could the next done deal be Saul Niguez to Manchester United? Hopefully, I would like us to buy a midfielder. I'd be happy with Saul Niguez. I'd be happy with Camavinga. I'd be happy with Declan Rice. I'd be happy with Ruben Neves. I'd be happy with pretty much every midfielder we link to, even Goretzka. But the situation is in the summary of this video, because I think this video is titled something like, Haaland confirmed next season, ? And Man United to sign Saul Niguez next. Could Saul Niguez be the next done deal at Manchester United? We know from Fabrizio Romano, if a club offers 34 to 38 million pounds for Saul Niguez, it will be a done deal. So, with this Barcelona deal maybe falling through, if Man United go to Atletico and say, we'll give you 38 million pounds, they will accept. Saul would love to come to Manchester United. It would be a done deal. So very, very likely that we could get Saul Niguez this summer. And very, very likely that we could get Erling Haaland next summer, with Man City going for KANE, Real Madrid going for MBAPPE and all that. And Fabrizio Romano again confirmed Manchester United will be in the race for Haaland next summer. So we won't find Haaland this summer, but we could have a Haaland Sancho link up at Manchester United in 2022, and we could have a midfield three of Saul Niguez, Paul Pogba, and Bruno Fernandes next season if all goes to plan, which I think would be absolutely insane, absolutely amazing, and all of that. But yeah, make sure you vote for me at the Football Content Awards. And of course, do subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new to the channel. If you're new to the channel and you want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news and transfer news, please do make sure you are subscribed down below to Alice Talks Football. And our incoming transfers depend on the outgoings. Please get rid of Deadwood before it's too late. I need a CDM. I don't trust McTominay and Fred to reign us to glory. And I 100% agree with Keith Fortune's comment. and all of that. And naughty Alice drunk on the beds. Well, I'm not drunk now, but I am hungover on 2 hours sleep, so I'm kind of dead right now. But yeah, I had a little bit more than I planned last night. Let's just say it was a one-off Tuesday night. I won't lie. And that's the great thing. If Chelsea spend on Lukaku, then we'll have a fight with non-EPL clubs for Haaland. I think EPL is the best league in the world. You know, we might have to compete with Liverpool. You never know with Liverpool, but their finances are a bit hit and miss at the moment, aren't they? We might have to compete with the Spanish clubs, but the Spanish league's in the mud at the moment. Real Madrid, if they get MBAPPE, you know, that means it's Barcelona, United, Liverpool. And I think United with JADON Sancho, Haaland might want to link up with JADON Sancho again. The Premier League being the best league in the world and his relationship with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, we can more than easily actually have a chance of winning this Haaland race next year. Like, I never thought we were going to get Erling Haaland. Once we lost him that January and we got Aguero instead because we're fucking idiots, I never thought we were going to get Erling Haaland. I thought, you know what, he'll go to Man City, he'll go to a Real Madrid and all of that. But there's generally a chance that we can get Erling Haaland now if, you know, Kane goes to City and Lukaku goes to Chelsea, which I never thought I'd be saying, but it is a very strong possibility. It's a very possibility and all of that. We need to have a look through medical with Sal. He had a kidney problem a couple of years ago, and since that, and his form has declined. I think the Sam Niguez wasn't as good last season as he had been in previous seasons, and he's had medical history, but he's still 26 years age. You know, he's still a solid player, and he's you know, they won the league last season. He wasn't bad, and I still think he's definitely an improvement on Fred and McTominay. Maybe like he wasn't as good last season as he'd been in previous seasons, but whatever happens with Sal Niguez, whatever happens, he's still an improvement on Fred and McTominay. Whether Sal Niguez, we can't play a 4-3-3 with Sal Niguez because he's not a CDM, he's a box-to-box. But if you play a pivot of Sal Niguez and Paul Pogba, you know that's a better pivot than McTominay and Pogba, than Fred and Pogba. You know, I mean, prime Matic and Pogba and Bruno would be the best front three, but Matic is done. But to be fair, you know, Sal Niguez, yeah, he didn't have his best season the last 2 seasons, but he's still an absolute solid player and he's still an improvement of what we have. So I wouldn't be that worried about that kind of situation if you want my honest opinion. And his injury record is okay. You know, he normally plays over 40 games a season, and I think that is what's important when you come to look at it and all of that. But Ajax has Leeds 3-0. Is Ajax beating Leeds 3-0? Or might be Ajax? Hopefully Leeds are Ajax are good. That means maybe that'll ruin Leeds' confidence for the first game of the season because we don't like Leeds and all of that. But yeah, make sure you subscribe to Alice Talks Football if you want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news and transfer news. I do daily Manchester United content on the channel, so if you want to stay up to date with all the transfer news, please do hit that like button, subscribe down below. Try Phil Jones up front. I think Man City should buy Phil Jones instead of Harry Kane. I think Man City should buy Phil Jones and put him up front instead of Harry Kane. There was that one guy that said Tammy Abraham would be a better signing than Harry Kane. Well, Tammy Abraham's younger, more affordable, and I think he's a decent striker. Like, he's Premier League proven to score a certain amount of goals. But Harry Kane, Tammy Abraham, levels. But, you know, I think Man City should spend 150 million on Phil Jones and play him striker. You know, I think that's what Manchester City should do. If you want my honest opinion. Have you seen many people on YouTube talking shit of United's transfer trophy in top 4? Not really. I think there's salty people. Like, the saltiest people about Man United right now are Arsenal fans. But I'm like, you spent 50 million on Ben White and you're trying to tell me Varane's crap. The only people chatting shit about Man United really are Arsenal fans, because City are pretty content and happy at the moment. Chelsea won a Champions League. They don't really care about these. Liverpool are like, you know what? They're not that fussed. It's just Arsenal fans trying to troll us, you know, because they're irrelevant. You know, they're a mid-table club, but they want to be a big club. So they think if they tease the big clubs, they're going to be a big club again. I think that's what it is. And all that. Because of outrageous wages, no one wants to leave. That's the problem. We do need to sell Deadwood and we do need to sell to buy, but because of the outrageous that's like a tongue twister, isn't it? Outrageous wages at Manchester United, it's really hard to get rid of players, and that's why we haven't been able to sell Phil Jones. One, because for some reason 3 years ago we decided to give him a new 5-year deal because we're dickheads. 2 years ago, oh my god, it was 2 years ago. Why did we do that? And 2, because of his wages. Phil Jones earns the same as Harry Kane. I'm pretty sure Phil Jones earns more a week than Bruno Fernandes to sit on his arse. I mean, look, I guess he gives the medical team something to do, but other than that, what's Phil Jones contributed in the last 2 years? If Chelsea sign Lukaku and City sign Kane, surely we'll sign Haaland. Well, there's Liverpool and the Spanish clubs, but obviously the Spanish clubs are in for MBAPPE, so I do think there's a strong possibility that we could get Haaland next season, you know, especially if this Lukaku deal goes through. Could that confirm that it's a very, very open race for Man United to get Haaland next season? And Fabrizio Romano did confirm we'd be very much in for Erling Haaland next season. JADON Sancho says a little over 3 weeks to the end of the transfer window. Get rid and buy a DM now. Exactly. Jesse Lingard, £25 million. Love the player, but he's good enough to play week in, week out in the Premier League. He won't get that at Manchester United. Daniel James, I love the player. He's good enough to be playing in the Premier League week in, week out. Won't get that at Manchester United. £15 million. Jesse Lingard, Daniel James, £15 million plus £25 million. 40 million quid for those two players. 40 million quid for those two players. Bada bing, bada boom, da da ding, da da ding, da da doom. Boom. Sell them, buy a DM. You could get Tuchemini for less than 40 million quid, the one at Monaco. You can get Sakari for less than 40 million quid. Maybe Kessie's a little bit over 40 million quid. Basuma would be 40 million quid. You could get Neves for 40 million quid. You could get CAMAVINGA for 40 million quid. And £38 million bid for Sal and the deal is done. Like, if Man United went to South Africa and said, we want Sal for 38 million quid, we'll give you 38 million quid for Sal, the deal could be done. So, yeah, 100% agree and all of that. So what formation would I play? I personally don't think the 4-3-3 suits the players we have. 4-1-4-1 or 4-1-1 even, or 4-1-2-3. 4-1-2-3 would be better. I think we'll play a 4-2-3-1, but I think we only play a 4-3-3 if we get an out-and-out CDM, like an Ndidi, like a Rice. But I think it will have to be a 4-2-3-1 next season. It's a big season for Martial. Can you see him back in form with Sancho supplying 100%? I think Martial's going to have a big season. I think Martial and Wan-Bissaka are two players I think are going to have a good season and prove a lot of the haters wrong, if you want an honest opinion. We're not going for Sal if we saw Mata and Matic in the squad. I mean, it's annoying that, we have Mata and Matic in the squad still. They should be going. But I think if we go for Sal, we would let Matic go. Some clubs interested in Matic. The Arsenal-Tottenham fans are funny. I think the Arsenal-Tottenham fans are funny because, you know what? West Ham's a better team than you. West Ham's a bigger club right now than Arsenal and Tottenham. So, they do always make me laugh. I won't lie. I won't lie, by the way. We are 150 subscribers away from 16K. 150 subscribers away from 16K. So, please do make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. If you want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news and transfer news, do bing, bada boom, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football, because we are on the road to 20,000 subscribers and all of that and stuff. But, yeah. Does Alice hats in the background look like man packing his head through wall? Oh, yeah, I've got two sun hats in the background. I can see that now. That's kind of funny. And Sal, he is best nice job. We need another one striker. Look, we need a CDM more than anything. Back at right back, then a striker. But I think get a CDM, or if we don't get a CDM, just get a good player to play in the pivot pool. Pogba, Neves, Sal, CAMAVINGA. Get a good midfielder. Boom. That's what we need to do next. Then back up right back, we'll sort the right back situation. Boom. Then next season, go all out for Erling fucking Haaland. Go all out for Erling Haaland. That's what I would do. And Alice, what happened to Amad Diallo? Wasn't it a bit harsh for him to challenge Jadon Sancho for right wing position? I mean, I feel bad for Diallo because I think he could be, with Rashford being out, Sancho on the left, you could have Diallo on the right, and he could be competing with Greenwood. But we've kept Mata around, and I think get rid of Mata, get rid of Daniel James, Sancho, Diallo, right wingers, Cavani, Greenwood, strikers, Rashford, Martial, left wingers. That's what I'd personally do. And all that. But yeah, please do subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new to the channel. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and of course hit that like button, share this video and all that. If you are new to the channel and you want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news and transfer news, please do subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football. And of course, vote for me in the FCAs. I think voting closes in a couple of days, so you've only got a couple of days to vote for me. It's pinned in the live chat, the link to vote for me in the FCAs, so please do go click that. We really appreciate it if you could vote me best young content creator, best new content creator in the FCA. See if we can get nominated again. That would be awesome. Hit that like button, of course. Subscribe to the channel and all of that. But to sum up what I was talking about in today's live stream, Fabrizio Romano said it's looking more and more likely that Paul Pogba will stay at Manchester United. It's looking more and more likely that Man United will, Paul Pogba will in fact stay. That's what Fabrizio Romano is saying. Man United are willing to take a gamble, willing to take a risk on Paul Pogba. That is what Romano is basically saying. Fabrizio Romano basically said that Manchester United are interested in Sam Niguez. They think, he's a very, very good price. We're keeping an eye on the situation. We're keeping an eye to see what happens. So again, Romano's confirmed we're keeping an eye on Sam Niguez. He said £38 million and it could be a done deal. It's in it would cost us £38 million to make Sam Niguez come to Manchester United. Atletico would have set that. And I'm sure Sal would like to join Man United, but I think his heart is set to stay in Spain. But the situation is £38 million and Sam Niguez could be a done deal, and I think that's very, very doable, but we might have to sell to do that. And that would be selling Daniel James, selling Jesse Lingard. And of course, does this Lukaku to Chelsea, Kane to City situation mean that Man United got a free ride at Erling Haaland next year? Does that mean Haaland confirmed as well? They were the main talking points of today's video as well. And if Chelsea do sign Lukaku, United will get money for that. We will get money for that. Lingard and cash for Rice and sell the rest of the Deadwood. I think that would be a very good deal to do, but I don't think we're going to do it. Danny Ings has indeed gone to Villa, and let's be real, Matic and Fred are the only ideal CDMs at the club, so thinking we will actually sign a CDM without offloading Matic is a bit delusional, to be honest. You know what, you make a solid point, but you know what United are like. We're stupid. We'd be stupid enough to get rid of Matic if we sign Saul, even though Matic is the only player that can hold on his own. But Ram's in Manchester, but he's not going to be seen. He's not going to be pictured because he's quarantining. But he is in Manchester, I believe. I'm pretty sure that's what Fabrizio Romano said. And I was like, you want Neves or Basuma for 40 million, but on long contracts, like 60 million plus, especially everyone knows that you want to see them. You make a good point. We could get mugged off. You know, Brighton got 50 million for Ben White, so they could ask for 60 million for Basuma, who is better than Ben White and all of that. But yeah, thank you everybody for tuning into today's live stream. Do make sure you vote for me in the Football Content Awards. That link pinned in the chat, and of course subscribe down below to Alice Talks if you're new. If you had any questions for me in the live chat and I was unable to read out any of your questions in the live chat, please just make sure you are subscribed down below to Alice Talks with bell notifications on, because I will be live again tomorrow. So any questions you had in the live chat for me that I didn't answer in today's live stream, I will try and answer in tomorrow's live stream. I will be live again tomorrow talking about all the latest Manchester United news that comes out tomorrow. If we're close to signing a player, who we're going to sign next. I'll be giving you all the latest transfer news in tomorrow's live stream, as well as answering your live chats and all of that. So please do subscribe with the bell notification on. I'll try and read and reply to as many live chats as possible. Thank you for watching today's video. Thanks everyone for tuning into the live chat and being interactive. Thanks for all the support. Make sure you smash that like button. Let's see if we can get 200 likes by the end of the live stream. Like, subscribe, share the video, vote for me in the FCAs, go follow me on Twitter and all of that. Any video suggestions, let me know as well. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye, Z.